trust anybody now.
Come on, you hey! You want to live forever?
Now what?
But no matter what happens, Godzilla will live.
And welcome back to the 84th episode of the Monster Movie Stompdown. You got your host, Sludge, here. Co-host across from me,
It's Mark.
the master from Texas.
Ruben.
So I'm stoked for this one because this one's going to get kind of deep, like as far as what this movie deals with or if you really pay attention to it. But before we jump into that, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, you're eating some awesome Cheetos. So I
Oh,
know you're doing
yeah.
good.
I'm feeling real good.
Ruben's left out. Sorry,
Yeah.
Ruben.
Once again.
That's 'cause you're all the way in Texas. I can't get these over to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could have mailed a bag a week ago.
I could have. That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
Next time
Yeah.
around, I get something. I want.
See, I think that way.
Then he would
I
have
think
to
that
give
way.
up one of the bags.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
that's-
I don't know if he's going to do that.
Well.
So I was telling him what we're doing. Last episode we had the classic candy that me and Mark kept
Yeah.
chewing on, and this episode we have got there's a specialty store or pop culture store called Pop Culture near us, and they get imported snacks from Japan, and they get these Japanese steak flavored Cheetos that I swear are the greatest Cheetos that's ever.
They
been.
are very good.
Oh yeah, so good. And every time they get them now, I wipe them out.
How long you been getting them?
This would be my third time wiping them out.
Yeah, this is my first one that I've been able to take.
Yeah, and you've been here for a while.
He's keeping them to himself.
Oh, he is.
I'm not
He
going
is.
to lie. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I probably need to repent for the way I act with these Cheetos because, like, I don't let my kids. My kids don't get any of them. I don't give them any of them. I'm like, sorry, they're mine.
Oh.
But I was telling the guys before the show about these. I went up to the store to get the third batch. They ordered 14 bags, and they only had, I think, like 13 or whatever, and I got a few of them, and then went up and got the rest of them. And there's a guy standing there. He's like, well, what flavor? Just some other dude that's in the store. And he's like, what flavor are those? And Cece, the guy who's working behind the counter, he's like, they're Japanese steak flavored, and they're freaking amazing, man. The dude's like, really? Like, are they that good? He goes, you see how many bags this dude's got? And the guy's like, well, I'd like to try one of those. And then Cece goes, ain't happening with him here. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm the nice guy, but you ain't getting none of these bags. I'm sorry. They're mine.
Oh, yes.
And so
This reminds me of a Bible verse that I read, and it goes something: "It is easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than to Tristan to give up one bag of Cheetos from Japan."
That's really what it says.
Exactly.
That's really
I'm not gonna
one
lie,
of the
man.
one of them. One of the translations that isn't often read, but
Yeah.
that's exactly what it says.
That's a translation out of Texas right there.
For those
Yeah, there
listening,
you
if you
go.
if you hear munching, it's my simple Cheetos that I'm eating during the show. But seriously, if you guys listening, if you get a chance to find these Japanese steak flavored Cheetos, because you have to get to a specialty store that imports food. So I don't know what your chances are.
Just don't look for him in Bristol, Tennessee,
Yeah,
because he gets them.
I get 'em every time.
After we record, and of course we can see each other in the videos here. And Mark tasted that one Cheeto, and his face told me all I needed to know. I'm going down to the Asian grocer that we have here. We have one Asian grocer here. I'm going to go see if they have anything in there. Like that.
They're
And the bad part about it
so
is,
good.
I've taken a second one, but the bag has moved farther away from me.
yeah.
His arms are shorter than mine. And I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just
Yeah.
subconsciously.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He's just
these are-
shoving it
these
forward.
are my
there.
freaking Cheetos, man. So, Ruben, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Just plugging along. You know how it goes.
Well, I do.
You guys seen the new trailer that just got released for Thor?
I did. And
What y'all think?
honestly, I was like, it was okay. There was some cool stuff, but I want to see a full trailer because that one didn't give me enough, really.
Yeah, that was a teaser.
Yeah.
that was a teaser.
Although I will say at the end, Natalie Portman is freaking jacked. Like, I don't know if she was on the Arnold Schwarzenegger regimen or something, but
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't
did
seen it.
not-
I haven't seen
yeah.
it.
like her for a woman, for an actress, like her arms are huge.
Really.
Oh yeah, I was like, good
Yeah.
lord. So,
Yeah.
but it does look good. Looks like it's gonna be funny. I mean, Taika Waititi, the director, I mean, he did phenomenal with Ragnarok, and he's going to do phenomenal with this anyway. So, I think it's going to be good. And there's parts of it looked funny, but I want a full trailer. I mean, this one because I want to see Christian Bale. Like, really, that's what I want to see. I want to see how he looks. So I'm kind of my excitement, I guess, is waiting for that to see the God
it goes.
Killer, But
Oh yeah.
I was more excited about the Shin Ultraman trailer. Y'all saw it drop too,
Yeah,
right?
I did
Dude,
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks boss, man. I cannot wait
Yeah.
for that. I'm super excited for that. With May 13th, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So we just got the new season of Ultraman on Netflix, which was amazing. And then getting that Shin Ultraman soon is going to be super, super cool. I can't wait. So,
Yeah.
Well, good. We've been busy here. Well, I mean, I should say I have been busy, and Stompy has been busy, and Frank has attempted to be busy. We got these. We've been building a podcast.
Really, I don't get no credit for the hard work I did today.
What hard work did you do today?
I fixed a major
Oh
problem.
my! See, I told you, Ruben.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
never
yeah.
gonna let this
If
down.
you don't believe me, ask Jesus and ask Paul. They know.
That's right.
They know. We were talking. We had to fix an edit for upcoming commercial, and Mark noticed an error in it. He's like, "We're gonna have to re-record this." I'm like, "Oh man!" But then I said something about like having multiple recordings. He's like, "Okay, you just take and edit it from that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I could." He's like, "See, I fixed it." And
All
we're
done,
gonna
man.
hear about that
All
for the
done.
rest of eternity. Now it's like, remember that time?
And I still haven't got paid for it. Still haven't got paid for it.
So, but we've been busy.
Yeah.
We've been building the podcast room.
Whoa.
Um,
What?
What?
Celine Dion, I think, is out of the case.
Oh, again?
yes, I'm looking.
Oh,
It's like,
my
oh,
God.
see,
Wait,
okay.
what is that over there?
Or
What's
something
that
that's
way
supposed
over
to be disposed of properly. It sure hasn't been disposed
Yeah.
of properly.
There's a problem with the Celine Dion tape. And I feel like you, the listeners, hopefully enjoy this because y'all have been hearing about the saga of the Celine Dion tape for a while now. So I've got all of Ron, my neighbors who lives in Hong Kong's tapes done, right?
Right.
They're all finished.
Yep.
Except, no, I'm sorry, I have one side left of one of like he's got these, the tapes that you can record your own stuff onto. I got one side left of that one to do, and then the Celine Dion tape. And it is sitting over open on another table.
I see it.
Yeah.
But there's a big problem, and I don't know what to do.
Did you break it?
No, I didn't break it.
You broke it?
I didn't break it.
Oh, no.
But it won't play.
Oh, you broke it.
No, I didn't
You
break
broke
it.
it.
I swear.
Yes.
I put it in, and it will not play. Now, I do want to say, and the listeners might find this interesting. So I'm using Mark's, what is this thing called? Well, it's an LP player. It's got cassette.
It's like 3, 5 in 1, something
Yeah,
like that.
CD player.
Cassette, CD.
Now, did you ask Mark about this? Because I bet Mark knows what the problem is.
I haven't asked him yet.
Wait, I know what the problem is. He's wore it out.
No,
He's listened to
that's
it
all
so
right.
much.
whatsoever. No, not
You
happening.
look at the cassette. Look at the cassette and flip it over where the tape is.
Oh, yeah.
And
What,
see if that little piece of foam is there. Because you need that
Oh.
piece of foam.
he's got it in hand.
I
He's
forgot
got it in
about that.
hand.
Yeah, no, the foam's in there. It's in
Yeah.
there.
Oh, well,
See,
then
now,
that's
just to let you know on cassettes,
But see, now
when it gets to the end of one side, you got to take it
Yeah,
out
you
and
have to
turn it
turn it
over.
over.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about. Okay, so when it comes to your cassette deck, all
Yeah.
right, which I'm thankful that you let me borrow it because I don't have one. I need to correct that. But so you have to flip it. It doesn't have an auto flip.
Yeah,
on this
exactly.
thing. But here's the problem: you have no controls on it. You can't hit play. You can't hit stop. You can't hit fast forward or rewind. Okay.
Really?
What?
Yeah. None of those work for. Yeah. It just
Those,
plays.
those buttons right there.
They don't work. They only control the CD player. So I was like, well, crap, I'm going to sit here and wait for every tape to play all the way through so I can flip it and then start recording. I'm like, and there was like 23 tapes, and none of them were around. We rewound to the beginning. I'm like, this sucks. So I was like, I got to figure something out. So I'm like, for like 20 minutes, I'm sitting here like with my finger and the tape reel just turning it.
Oh,
I'm
no,
like,
no. You got to use a pencil, man. A pencil.
Well,
Pencil
yeah,
does it.
pencil.
Pencil
Well, I
does
tried
it.
a pencil, and that didn't
It
go much
works.
faster, but I figured out, and I nailed it. And I got all 22 tapes rewound in like 5 minutes. I went over and got my DeWalt drill.
There you go.
And found
Good thinking.
a flathead bit that fit perfectly inside the tape. And then
You
I
just-
just hit.
Oh,
and
good
rewound
job.
every tape.
Good
And,
job.
super fast. I was like, I'm going to do this from now on.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so I don't know what's going on with
Hey,
Celine Dion.
don't
but it's not
lay
playing.
that on mine. Put
It's
it back
been laying on it
over.
the whole time.
No, it's over there now.
Oh, okay.
It's out of the case.
It's not good enough to me.
No, I don't want that on there.
Fine, we'll put it there, so.
There you go.
Anyway,
That's
so
back
we,
over
like I
your
was saying,
stuff.
we've been busy. We've been building a podcast room and Stompy. Frank's been over here helping, and again, mostly Stompy. Even though I don't really want to give him too much credit because he'll brag about it. But we got it painted, we got it all set up, and it's officially done and ready. Because we film Stompy and Frank's first episode this week. You guys will get it on April 30th, so make sure you're checking out YouTube. Because that's where it'll be premiering. So go like us on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz. But we, the three of us, will start moving our Monster Movie Stompdown episodes to to recorded video casts in the podcast room.
Here we go.
So you will be getting video casts of our Ugly Mugs as
Here
well
we
as
go.
the audio cast.
There
So
we go.
I'm sorry, there's one more thing I got to do. I got to put a big screen TV up for Ruben. So since Ruben's in Texas, there's a little tweaking we got to do, but it's going to be awesome.
So he'll be bigger than us, right?
He'll be bigger than us. So.
Oh,
Well,
Big
that
man.
literally
Big
literally
man.
is probably true. Literally is probably true.
we just want to make sure.
And I'm not talking about height. And I'm not talking.
so we're getting there. We're super excited. So be ready for it. April 30th is when the Stompy and Frank's show, the first episode, premieres. And hopefully, I mean, we've sent pictures to some of the friends and the network, and everyone thinks it looks awesome. So hopefully you guys will like it as well. You'll probably see a glimpse of it here pretty soon, actually. So, all right. Well, let's get going, man. We were talking about.
Can you move that bag of chips?
Nah, man. I'm gonna totally
Get him out of here,
get
man.
another
Get 'em
Cheeto
outta
here
here.
to chew on.
I'm going to be chomping in the microphone.
But we picked the 2016 film The Monster. Now, this movie Came out in November of 2016. It was written and directed by Brian Bertino. That's the guy who did the Strangers movie, which is an excellent freaking movie. He also did The Dark and the Wicked, which came out in, I think, 2020, which was another good one. Stars Zoe Kazan as the main character, Kathy, and the phenomenal, we'll talk about it, Ella Ballentine, I think is how you pronounce her last name, is her daughter Lily in it. This movie came out, again, in November 11th, 2016, had a $3 million budget, but only brought in $74,000 at the box office, which is weird because when you go look at reviews for this movie, it's got pretty positive reviews from most everybody, and we're going to tell you what you think about it. But before we get started and dive into this, let's check out the trailer.
What time is it?
It's 12:15. Don't do that.
We gotta call 911.
Hello? We've been in an accident. Let's go back to the car. Dogs don't got teeth like this.
Ma'am, you all right?
Yeah, we're fine.
That ambulance gonna be a bit. Stay in there.
There are monsters. Mama?
Hey, this is the one-man gold mine, the one-man enterprise of professional wrestling and all entertainment, Flynn Hendricks. And you better believe when I'm looking for a good podcast to listen to, I go to my own. I go to the I Know You Hear Me podcast hosted by me, Flynn Hendricks. That is such a fresh perspective for how you should look at life, too. I love that. And then when I'm feeling spooky, I go to my other podcast, Tales from the Haunt, where myself, I want my head shoved inside a 15-pound silicone mask. More. I want to have a bucket of sweat coming off me at the end of the night than just Jeff.
Dogs don't lay eggs, Flynn.
I hate you so much. Talk to other scare actors about what it takes to get into the world of scare acting. So if you're curious about how people became professional wrestlers, actors, prioritized their mental health, became entrepreneurs, avoided burnout, or got into scare acting, you need to go check out I Know You Hear Me and Tales from the Haunt, available on all podcasting platforms. And I know you hear me.
All right, and that was the trailer for The Monster, and then, of course, a commercial from our buddies over at Tales from the Haunt, and I Know You Hear Me with Flynn Hendricks. Make sure to check those shows out, as well as any other show from the good Give Me Back My Podcast Network. All great shows. Tales from the Haunt, I absolutely love that because I love the concept of the show. But I do like Flynn's show as well. I Know You Hear Me, just because he kind of interviews anybody and everybody about whatever, and it's a really, really cool show. So make sure and check them out. But let's jump into this, the Monster movie. You have a correction for me, right?
Well,
Mike?
I do. That was originally released through DirecTV Cinema first, and then a limited release in the theaters, which would account for maybe the low numbers.
So when did it get released on DirecTV Cinema?
Did you guys read any of the reviews for this? Did you guys read any of the reviews for this?
I've seen a few of them.
Okay, I read one, and then I immediately knew when it was released and in what month.
Really? How? Or what was
Because
the
the reviewer was quite angry. It was November 2016. Can you guess what this reviewer was angry about?
November 2006? Well, Thanksgiving time? What came out in
I have
2016?
It
no
was
idea.
right. Yeah, and not to get too political, but this reviewer is quite angry because somebody had just got elected.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
And he turned the whole review into how he felt. And I'm like, when are you going to review the movie?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I'm like,
Wow.
I'm like, oh my goodness. It was just, there was a time of anger too. I guess it was not a good time for a movie to be released. There was a lot of angst out there.
That may have had something to do with
Yeah.
the box office numbers too. So, I
Yeah.
mean, because this movie I think is absolutely fantastic, and we'll get into it. So,
But
the premise of this movie,
Crazy.
we'll run down the synopsis of it. Is you have Kathy, who's played again by Zoe Kazan, and her daughter Lily, who is again played amazingly well by Ella Ballantine. In the beginning of the movie, they are heading out to take Lily to her dad's because Kathy is not the best mom on the planet. She is a severe alcoholic, very, very much addicted to alcohol, heavy smoker. This movie kind of unravels a little bit. But at the beginning, Kathy is taking Lily to her dad, who they, of course, have been divorced because Lily is going to go, presumably, live with her dad from now on because of things that happen. While they are driving to to Lily's father's house to drop her off, they hit a wolf on the road, and, well, they find out they actually hit a little more than a wolf, and it ends up breaking the axle in the car. The car, of course, wrecks on the side of the road. They're safe, but then they have to wait in the car for a tow truck and then an ambulance as well because Kathy, has messed her wrist up pretty bad in the accident. Of course, they call her dad, Lily's dad, let him know what's going on. He's going to meet them at where the tow truck's going to drop the car off at. So they have to wait. What they don't know is that there's something else outside waiting, and that is the monster that you hear about in the title. What they actually hit was this monster and attacking this wolf, and it proceeds to them having to defend themselves for the rest of the movie. Eventually, a tow truck guy named Jesse, played by Aaron Douglas, who actually was also in Strangers, that Brian Bertino had directed. He shows up to try and get them off the road and get them going. Of course, he gets ripped to shreds, and that's when they realize there's a real monster outside, and they have to find a way to survive. The ambulance shows up. Ambulance drivers, they get ripped to shreds, and it's all about turns to Kathy having to protect and save her daughter from the monster outside, even though she's not a good example of a mother. And she does eventually sacrifice herself to try and save Lily. But even though she does her best to try and save Lily, she does not stop the monster, and it boils down to a final face-off between Lily and the monster itself, and her realization that monsters are real. And we have an interruption from Mark in the middle of this. Thanks, Mark.
Well, at least it was a nice.
It was a
Texas
nice tune.
riff
It was,
there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a nice tune.
Nice Texas riff there.
That was for you, Ruben.
So Lily comes down, of course, surviving at the end, but she realizes because one of the things she tells, talks to Kathy about Zoe Kazan's character is, Mom, you told me you lied. You told me the monsters didn't exist. And she's like, well, I'm sorry, I lied. Monsters do exist. And she survives, but of course, no one else in the movie survives other than Lily. That's pretty much the gist of it, as far as the story itself. I think who went first last time?
I don't know, but let
You did.
Ruben or you go. I'm trying to fix my.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to fix my.
So that you don't
Texas
interrupt the
sound
show
problem.
anymore. Yeah, I
All
appreciate that. So,
I tell you what, he fixed one problem. Now he thinks he doesn't have to do anything.
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Right, is what
Yeah.
it is.
Well,
Yeah.
so okay. Well, I'll jump into this one. So this movie deals
for
is very parallel as far as the monster, because Zoe Kazan, character Kathy, she is an absolutely horrific mother. At one point in the movie, because the movie goes back and forth between the scenes on the road and then broke down in the car with this monster outside to scenes of their history together as mother and daughter. And there's a lot of abuse that happens. I think one of the most amazing scenes is the scene where she's in the car, or she's outside by the car telling Lily, come on, let's go. She's got to take her to her play. And they start arguing. And she just starts cussing her just terribly. I mean, Zoe Kazan, Kathy just starts cussing Lily out horribly. I'm like, you're just, and ends up telling her, like, fine, you find your own way. And she leaves her there and goes to her daughter's play without her daughter, who's in the play. And then her daughter has some coarse words at that moment. I mean, there's the scene where it flashes back. I mean, of course, you see, I mean, she's always drunk. She's always, at one point, she's passed out next to the toilet from puking. And Lily wakes up and comes in and lays and kind of holds her as she's passed out. You know what I mean? Because you see a major maturity level out of Lily above her age. Because she's supposed to be a young teenager in this. She honestly looks like she's not a teenager, maybe like 11 or 12. You know, but I mean, there's a reason why she's going to go live with her dad, because Kathy is just an absolutely terrible mother. And Lily's been having to survive that. Well, now Lily's having to survive this real monster that's outside, while Kathy is having to realize how bad of a mother she really is, and how much she really does love her daughter, and what she's willing to do to protect her daughter. If this is the last thing she gets to do, she at least wants to turn around and be the best mom she can be in the moment. And it's phenomenal. Like, Zoe Kazan and especially Ella Valentine are phenomenal. Like, I'm not a big fan of Zoe Kazan's movies. This of course, is very different from what she would normally do. But you really have to break down when you're watching it going, man, who's the worst monster? Kathy or the monster itself? You know what I mean? Because there's scenes, at one point, Lily, in one of the flashback scenes, takes a knife from the kitchen, and Kathy, her mom's passed out on the couch, and she puts it right up to her neck, and she's just like, I hate you. Go away. Go. And you're like, dude, she's about to slit her mom's throat because of the abuse that she has gone through and what her mother has put her through. So for me, this movie really made me go, well, the monster stuff is great because they kept the monster off camera or at the edge of the camera.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The entire time till the last, 10, 15 minutes of the movie, when you finally, it's okay to show the monster, and this monster looks absolutely amazing. They did a phenomenal job with that. Very Alien-esque. You know what I mean? Not as far as how it looks, but as far as how they handled it, keeping it in the shadows, keeping it off frame till the end when it needed to be. But the moments that it showed up and killed Jesse or took the wolf, killed the ambulance drivers, was just brutal. But you don't get to see the full. You see like the after effects or bits and pieces of it as it's pulling Jesse up underneath the tow truck and just tearing him apart in the process. Handled insanely well. The cinematography is absolutely great. The soundtrack is very good because it's very minimalistic, which is great because this whole movie takes place on one stretch of a road and then inside like one or two rooms of their house. So the minimalistic approach for the soundtrack, I think, made the movie even better. But as good as the monster is in this movie, the performances of Zoe Kazan and Ella Valentine is, to me, just as flawless as I think flawless could be with the two of them together. I mean, you really feel like that's a mother and daughter in a very abusive relationship that's in an emergent life or death situation, and how they would handle and resolve it. Because even though Kathy is just terrible to Lily and always has been, she's like, I gotta go check on Jesse, and Lily's like, no, don't go. She still doesn't want her to leave. She still wants her mom there because she still loves her mom, even though they're constantly fighting and arguing it to a major degree of a borderline hatred because of the abuse that's involved. And then to see Zoe Kazan turn Kathy from knowing she's a terrible mother, being okay that she's not going to have her daughter anymore, to, oh my gosh, I've been a terrible mother. I've got to do whatever it takes to save my child. To see that character turn, she did a phenomenal job. And if you go check out a lot of the reviews are really praising Zoe's performance as well as Ella's performance in the movie. So, I mean, this movie, to me, is just fantastic because the monster's awesome. The monster looks great. Special effects are superb. Cinematography's amazing. It's dark the way it needs to be. There's only light where it should be. Keeps it tense, but it makes you think. You know what I mean? Who's the worst monster? Are we worse, or is this thing outside worse? Because we can be, as humans, just absolutely terrible, disgusting monsters. You know what I mean? What are we surviving, ourselves or the beast outside? So I absolutely love this movie. This movie was super good. It was very underrated, I think, because it didn't, limited release. Obviously didn't get much in the box office, but if you go check reviews from Metacritic, even Rotten Tomatoes, I think it still holds. Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes has got like an 80%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I think that's the last I saw. That's what I'm saying. I went and looked at reviews, and I'm like, how did I not hear about this movie? I just didn't understand it. And then after watching it, I was even more shocked.
Oh, yeah, because it's phenomenal.
It's well made. It was such a well-made movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and Brian Bertino did a good, just a phenomenal job writing and directing this movie. So I have literally no qualms on this movie whatsoever. I mean, nothing about this movie that I dislike at all. Ruben, what about you? You're laughing, so maybe he's got something.
I'm laughing because I have one qualm.
Okay.
I have one qualm, and it's kind of funny. But this movie, what I liked about this movie is how they structured it. Some people may not like this, but I like how they structured it because they cut. It was all flashback scenes, so you saw what kind of a mother she was, but it was all on flashback scenes. So if you're into monster movies, you got your horror out of it. But if you're more into drama, you got your drama, in pieces too.
That's true.
So it kind of like it had a little bit of everything in it. But I think this was a phenomenal monster movie in general. And I have a hard time with, because I don't know if you guys know, I hardly drink. I hardly drink. I used to not to drink. Now I'll drink a beer, maybe have a Coke and proper 12, once in a while. But so I have a hard time understanding alcoholism. Listen to this guy eating his Cheetos while I'm talking.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Dude, he is pounding them down. He may not be. He's got a food problem.
For the people that are listening, the Cheeto bag is like right in front of the camera. It's like right there. And then he kind of lifts it up and says, "Look what I have."
Yeah.
And then he puts one in his mouth.
I'm attentive though. I'm watching you. I'm listening. I'm looking. Yeah. I'm just enjoying some Cheetos.
He moves the bag away from me and then just goes at it.
So I really like the structure of it. I like the structure of it because of that. And also, I guess I always want to see the good in people. So even at her worst, the mom at the worst, I saw that she, I don't know, I saw an effort there, even though she was failing miserably. I could tell, like, when they were getting ready to go on this trip where they're going to meet this monster, she tells her, "I know you're never coming back." And then the daughter says, "I never said that." She goes, "No, I know that you're not coming back." And I'm like, she realizes, like Sludge said earlier, she realizes she's a bad mother, but I think she realized this all along. What's great about this movie is the monster hammered it home for both of them what they mean to each other. It was that monster. Yeah. The monster did them the favor of at least they reconciled before one of them was going to be gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The monster did that, even though, unintentionally, but that's the part that I saw. I saw the monster attacking them, and it brought them together and did what nothing else could. What nobody in no psychologist or psychiatrist or whoever you want to throw in their counselor. The monster did it in maybe a couple hours is what they went through.
Oh yeah,
this stuff all together. Waiting for the ambulance, waiting for the tow truck driver, waiting for the ambulance, and they sat there and they worked it out. And I thought, and that's amazing because they did that, and they still put that feeling of dread that there's something out there, and something out there is eventually going to show their face, or is eventually going to show up and attack. And it was great how they kept the monster out of the shadow and out in the shadows. You just got a glimpse. Like there's one scene that I really liked is when the little girl goes out and she finds the wolf. Because remember, I don't know if you guys remember, the wolf was out there
on the road. Yeah.
And then it was gone. And she's like, "Where did the wolf go?" So then the little girl, I can't even remember why the little girl decided to go out on her own, but she went out on her own and she finds the wolf. And while she's
I
kneeling
think it's when she
there.
went to go get the cell phone, right?
The cell phone out of the truck.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
go get the cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to get the cell phone, and then she wanders off into the forest, and she finds the wolf, and she kneels down, and she says, I found it. I found the wolf. And behind her is the shadow of the creature just lurking.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
right
he's just
behind her.
lurking. Right behind her, just waiting to pounce. And for some reason, he doesn't, which I found fascinating that he didn't pounce. He kind of just waited there. And then they cut scene, and then they go back, and he's gone. The creature's gone, or the monster's gone. I thought that was great. I'm like, man, it was right there.
Yeah,
and
that was a
you
tense
know, it
scene
was-
too.
Yes.
Very
that was a
much.
tense scene. And I'm like, man, and that, that's what I like in a horror movie. I want tension. I want to feel uneasy. I've said it before. I want to feel uneasy. I want tension. I want that that feeling of dread. That's what, for lack of a better term, that's what gets me off on a horror movie. I want that. And this movie gave me all of that. And then it threw in some drama in there. So maybe I'm not a big fan of it, but Sludge is right. It kind of made you face the reality of, it made them face the reality of just how bad of a mom she was. And the daughter realized how much she actually still loves. It's your mom. No matter what she does, you're still going to love
Oh
her
yeah,
no matter
oh,
what.
yeah.
Even underneath all that terrible stuff that happened, there's a scene where she hides the car keys, and I guess the liquor store's about to close or something. And they're looking for the boyfriend and the mom are looking for the keys, and the little girl hit him, and they find the keys. The guy takes off. He goes, the store closes in 10 minutes, and he leaves. And then the mom smacks her for doing that.
Oh yeah, that was a rough
Just gives
scene.
her a smack. That was a rough scene.
Yeah.
Just smacks her, and I'm not talking like a parent spanks a kid, or this was a smack across the face.
Oh yeah.
Out of anger.
And then out of anger, and like, man, she, and the daughter generally, I don't know if she really hated her. Kids say things like that, but she really knew that she was not in a good situation. She was going to go live with her dad. But all in all, this is a great horror movie. I mean, I the only qualm I have about it is how the creature or monster was killed. Apparently, he went and dipped himself in petroleum or something.
Yeah.
Because it only took very little hairspray, and his whole body's on fire.
It wasn't hairspray. It was
it was the antiseptic.
yeah, an
Yeah.
antiseptic aerosol
Antiseptic.
cocaine. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
still-
aerosol.
still the
It's
same.
Yeah.
He just
She
blew up.
didn't
there.
spray him down and then do that. I mean, I'm like, she just sprayed it like one time, and then the dude was on fire.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but
what
hey,
is he, petroleum based or something?
Yeah,
What's
and-
going
and-
on here?
And 30 seconds later, he's crisp. He's really
Yeah.
crisp.
Yeah. But he gets
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Give her credit though when he does move and gets up,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
just beats his head in with some kind of a rod or something from the
I think it was that hammer.
Yeah.
was it the hammer from
Yeah,
the
the
yeah
hammer.
yeah. So I mean
That's a hammer.
she had her
Oh.
brutal moment there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that too. I mean, she turned from a scared little girl, right? And you're right. I would say she's about 12.
Yeah.
All the descriptions say a teenager, a headstrong teenager, but I wouldn't think she was a teen. I don't know. I don't think she was a teenager. I think she's a tween.
Yeah.
But she transformed too. She went from, just like the mom went from a terrible mom to a mom that sacrificed everything to save her daughter. Daughter went from a scared, abused child to a brave kid that took on a monster and won.
Oh yeah. She went from like
Yeah.
Newt. She went from like being Newt to turning into Ellen Ripley.
Oh yeah.
Like all
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
right there.
exactly, right in front of your eyes. And this happens in what the movie's hour and 28 minutes. Is that right? Did I get
Hour
that
28,
right?
27, something like that. It's just shy of
something
an
like
hour and a
that.
half.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't feel that way because the movie goes by real quick. I thought it went by quick. I don't know what
Yeah.
you guys thought.
Pacing
I thought
was
it
really
went
good.
by real quick. The pacing was, so that was my next thing. The pacing is excellent on this because there's not really a lull in it. Once they get on the road, that's it, and even that, there wasn't much of a lull there because you get that horrific scene where they're cussing at each other.
Yeah, like anytime you would
know?
expect there to be a lull moment is when you hit
There's
one of those
that.
flashbacks. They give you those
Yeah.
flashbacks, and the flashbacks are intense, man.
Very
They're
intense.
as
Yeah.
Very
intense as the actual brutality that
Yeah.
the monster's given.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, man, this is just it's brutal in two different ways altogether, but still brutal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One psychologically and one actual brutal, as in physical, with the monster. So, and the scenes with, where he kills the tow truck driver, and then, where he drags out the EMT out of, busts the windshield, and man, awesome scenes, awesome death blows, I guess you'd call them.
Oh yeah.
So all in all, this movie, I mean, the only qualm I had is I thought I kind of laughed when she had the antiseptic spray and she had her mom's lighter, and she did the blowtorch type of thing, and the whole creature just caught fire. I'm like, well, what is that all about? But other than that, I thought it was a great movie, very well made. The music went perfectly with what was going on, and the acting was phenomenal.
Oh,
Phenomenal,
so
I thought.
good.
It was so
good.
good.
Like either one of those two, I felt deserved an award.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. They just did
they
so good.
believed
I
it
hadn't
looked real.
seen the little girl or anything. I'd seen the mom in Ruby Sparks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw. I've seen her in Ruby Sparks. So it's a it's a good movie. It's not a horror movie, but I sat there and watched it. It was a good movie. But she outdid her. They both outdid themselves on this movie. So that's why I gave it such a high rating, because that's good.
I know Zoe was just, when she read the script, was so just enamored by the script, especially when it comes to those two and the mother role. And she wanted to make sure and nail that role so much that after she had met Ella and Ella's mother, she'd actually asked them for pictures of Ella, younger pictures, like baby pictures, and then like toddler pictures, like through the ages, so that she could have those and really really get into that mentality of being her mom. And then she said that they, because they shot on location in Ontario, Canada, that it was just kind of all enclosed together, that her and Ella and then Ella's mom, that they just spent all the entire time together and had such a blast together. So it was very easy to build that relationship. And I think that's definitely translated on screen.
And it translates perfectly on screen. Yeah. Because on screen, it's just, I can't. Go ahead, Mark.
Well,
I'm done.
The only thing when I first started watching it was like, man, that mom looks awful young compared to an teenager.
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
I noticed that too. Yeah.
And so I thought, how's that going to relate? How's that going to, be real? But they do such a great job at it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. You and I noticed that at first, but you know what? That all went away once they started interacting.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, I forgot all about that.
Definitely.
Forgot all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark?
See, and I agree with everything what you're saying. But one of the things, and of course, it's me with the way I like movies and I get into movies, is where'd mom come from? What got her to the point where this movie actually starts? Right. Why is she an addict? What did she deal with?
Yeah.
Because one of the things when she's talking, she tells her right before they leave that you're going and you're not coming back. She tells her.
Yeah.
And that kind of hit me. It was like, well, okay, what's going on there? And then if you go on down into the movie, when she's in the car and she knows she can take the torch and go out and try to lead the monster away, she tells her, because, she's all upset, doesn't want her mom to leave. And she says, whether I get out of this car or not, I'm going to die. And so it made me think, and my mind thing is, well, is there something wrong with her? Is she dying? What's going on with that?
But she was throwing up blood, so I assumed she was bleeding eternally.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, because I didn't know if that was from the accident or if that was from something else.
Let's see.
That's true. It could have been from. I just assumed it was from the accident.
But
I could be wrong.
She tells her. She said, "Whether I get out of this car," because she's telling her, "Don't go, don't go, don't go."
Yeah.
Whether I get out of this car or I get out, I'm going to die. Yeah. And so it made me think that there was something because of her past or addictions or whatever she was going through. She was dying.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
But then in turn, everything changes to where none of that else matters. The only thing that matters is that her daughter lives. And she will do whatever that takes to make sure she lives.
Including getting absolutely ripped apart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and she is.
And
knows that scene.
And knew ahead of time.
Well, she puts the torch out purposely
Yeah.
to get that monster to her.
Yep.
And so great movie. And yeah, that is all thumbs up. You know, I don't know, maybe I was too much into the movie. I thought the soundtrack was non-existent. Just completely
It's so
non-existent.
minimalistic.
Yeah, but I am
yeah.
so focused into what's going on the screen that it was just truly amazing.
You see,
Yeah.
but to me, and I know a lot of people talk about soundtracks. You know, I do that bit on soundtracks, but to me, a good soundtrack just sets the mood. In other words, so you don't really notice it,
Yeah.
especially if the movie's really good. You're feeling it. You're feeling the
Yeah.
scene more than you are feeling the music. you
And
know?
sometimes with a good soundtrack means no soundtrack. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
part of a good
exactly.
soundtrack. It just-
I even made the comment while I was watching. It's like, there is no soundtrack here.
yeah.
You know, it's just great.
Yeah.
But then you turn around and you look at Jaws, and then, you know, a movie like Jaws, a soundtrack builds the adrenaline
Right,
going,
yeah,
gets you
yeah.
pumped up.
Which reminds me, I don't know about you guys, but that death scene with the tow truck driver reminded me so much of Quint's death scene.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
The way he's pulled
Yeah.
out there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
The way he's
yeah,
getting
it's
being
true.
pulled down and his screaming. And I'm like, this guy watched Jaws to practice his death scene
Yeah.
because he's just fighting, trying to get away, and the monster's just dragging him. And it immediately got me thinking of Quint's
and
death
it's-
scene in Jaws.
And it's not short, like at
No,
all.
It's
Oh,
not.
no.
Like it's lengthy. Like it is really lengthy. The
Oh,
whole-
I was like, that's a pretty big truck driver. Can he get underneath that truck? Or is he just going to rip him through that
Oh
truck?
yeah, because I'm like, when I watched it, I was because I've seen this movie a few times, but when I watched it again the other day, I was like, I didn't realize till it got over, till you see the hand come off the little step rail,
Yeah.
and he finishes
Yeah.
pulling him over. I'm like, how long did that take? Because like
Yeah.
he is,
Yeah.
It
he's
did.
not just
Yeah.
pulling him, he is tearing apart. I was like, that was
Oh, yeah.
brutal.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
it was.
every bit of this
It
movie is
was.
brutal.
Yeah, it is. Every death scene is brutal. Of course, there's a one off camera one where the first EMT disappears.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even hear anything. It's just
No,
he's
he's-
gone.
yeah.
he's just
Until he
gone.
slams into the windshield.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. He's gone, and all of a sudden he slams into the windshield, and that's it. I'm like, not a scream, not a eye, or nothing. You know, no Star Wars scream, nothing.
No, he got
he's
took out
gone.
real quick.
And I think,
He got
you know,
taken.
just like the not knowing where, you know, mom's passed and why she's in the situation she's in.
Yeah.
But she's there, and to an extent, she is a monster.
Yeah.
But where did the monster come from? You know, there's no background on that. He just comes and eats.
Yeah, none
That's
whatsoever.
It. That's it. And makes it kind of a little bit confusing, but you know, it's
Well, and I didn't even think about that till like way after the movie's over. You know what I mean? Like movie's done, credits have rolled. I'm like, where did that thing come from?
Yeah.
Because while it's
Yeah.
happening, you don't care. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
performance.
that's the last thing on your mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you
that's
see
the
the
last thing
si-
on your mind.
and you see the sides of his teeth.
Oh my god,
Oh
dude.
man.
It's like they're that brutal teeth. I mean, it's like giant sloth-sized teeth, like
Oh,
huge,
yes.
huge.
Just
Yeah.
you know,
And one thing I'd like to point out that Mark brought up is you talked about the background of the
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
you know. This is my thought on it. My thought is that she got pregnant too early and she resents the little girl. I mean, I don't know
That's
what you guys
possible.
think.
I mean, I know.
And she resents the little girl.
Yeah.
I don't know why Child Protective Services still has her with her mom and not with her dad, but that's a different
Yeah.
story. And my question is, okay, so why doesn't the dad come and take her? You know,
right.
out of this relationship. And I don't, you know, Mark brought up a good point, and I didn't spend enough time on it. So I'm like, you know, Mark's right. You know, the backstory would have been nice to have a little bit of backstory. My only assumption was that, and it's just an assumption.
Well, you
I
know,
don't know what you guys
in
think.
one of the flashbacks, she's sitting outside on the porch where you see there's a calendar. You can do it, Mom, or something like that. Then there's 2 X's
Yeah.
on the calendar.
Yeah.
Like she's trying
Trying
to
to.
quit. And then the next thing you see her digging through the garbage, trying to find bottles,
Yeah.
whatever she can and get. And then she's outside.
Showing how severe that addiction is. 'Cause it can, I mean,
how
yeah.
bad what she's going through.
Yeah. So, great movie. I mean, I think it's absolutely phenomenal, and I think it's time for the Stompdown rating. All right, and collectively, 3.5 stomps out of
3.5
5.
stomps, yes.
And all three of us agreed on this one.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, that another one of those
That's-
rarities definitely happened where all three of us were like
yeah.
3.5, 3.5, 3. I mean, it is well worth 3.5 stomps, I think, because
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Shred Sleestack here with a breaking news bulletin. The annual snow carnival has been temporarily postponed due to what is being described as multiple bear attacks. There's been 2 reported casualties to what local authorities are calling a rogue bear. A guest at the ski resort was reported missing, but the victim's body has been discovered. The bear, believed to be the culprit, reportedly attacked a local resident at the high school last night. Reports among the town and from management at the ski resort believe this to be the work of some other kind of animal, and not a bear. Authorities are advising a curfew and closing the slopes until the animal is removed. This is Shred Sleestack. Stay safe out there.
it isn't a standard monster movie. You know, I mean, you've got the monster, but you have so much depth with Zoe and Ella's characters, the mom and daughter. Like, and the special effects are great. Cinematography, I mean, everything about it's great. It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is it something that's going to be Frankenstein, Alien? You know what I mean? Those five Godzilla.
Yeah.
It's not quite there. You know what I mean? But
No.
it is a truly remarkable film that sadly got missed by a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. And it's a pretty deep movie. This is the deep that we were promised on another movie that never really that we watched, and it wasn't even near that deep.
Which one was
if
that?
you remember?
Was that?
You don't remember that?
Was that the Justin McClane movie?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah. No, I've watched that in my memory.
Yeah. This one
had nothing to
this
do with
is
that.
what I
Justin.
expected. This is what I expected when I watched that one, and that's not what I got. And this one, I didn't expect it, and I got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
man.
I mean, I'm like, wow, this one.
You don't get.
You know.
I mean, monster movies are monster movies, and there's tons of them that have
Yeah.
great storytelling and great special effects. But as far as a level of depth like this with layers, you don't get many of them like it. And when you do, I mean, they all have a meaning and a point to them. But like this level of depth and layering is it's very rare. So when you get it, it's a special. It's something special when you get it.
And I think when you look at, you got your main story and your side stories.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
What would be considered a side story really becomes the main story between mom and daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we could do two shows.
Oh,
one
definitely.
on the you could do a whole podcast, maybe not a monster movie podcast, just on the scenes between the daughter and the mom, and do another whole podcast just on the monster scenes.
Oh yeah.
And still have plenty of content.
Exactly.
But they need each other, of course. I think one cannot. If you took out all those scenes with her and her mom, it wouldn't have been much of a monster movie.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
They needed each other to make one good movie altogether.
Yeah.
And they succeeded.
Oh,
definitely.
very, very well. I mean, like Strangers is a great movie. I mean, a really good movie, and a lot of horror fans love that movie.
Yeah.
But I think this is just a superior film.
Definitely.
Definitely superior to definitely better than the sequel. But the original Strangers was really good. This is just a better movie. So, yeah, guys, there you go.
I agree.
3.5 out of 5. We highly recommend this movie. If you have not watched it, find it. It is pretty language heavy. Again, you deal with a mother who is a raging alcoholic with some major issues. But it really sinks in what's going on and how bad
and an angry little girl.
Oh yeah,
because to hear her use that language, she doesn't look like one of those girls that would use language. And then when it started coming out of her mouth, I'm like, oh man, this is she's got issues too. I mean, she's damaged.
Yeah,
just as much as the mom is.
Yeah,
because of the mom.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So definitely go check this movie out if you get a chance to, because it is well worth the watch. We promise. So, all right, guys, I think it's time to test your might.
Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might.
your might.
All right, so last time Mark lost again, and
and the cheating continues.
the cheating did not continue.
Oh,
We all tied in what was an amazing way.
I think we even pulled Ruben in on it. Yeah, good job, Charlie. You're
hey,
working
look,
good.
thanks. You blame Josh Bramlett from you call Shred and tell him.
Oh, that's right.
He got us the
You're right.
tiebreaker. He got us the tiebreaker, man.
So I missed all three. It didn't matter, man.
No, we got all three of them. Remember?
No.
Because it was the Jeopardy question or the Price is Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The tiebreaker is what did it.
Yeah, tiebreaker's what got it.
Okay.
So,
I was thinking
because we got the tiebreaker right. You got it wrong.
Okay.
So let's hear it. How was The Last Shark?
Oh, well, it sucked. It was bad. It was just bad. What it was trying to remake Jaws on about $150 budget. I mean, it was just horrible.
And only $10 of that went to the shark itself.
Yeah, on all points. Well, yeah, and that $10 that went to the shark was all, National Geographic footage that somebody got underwater. The only time you got it was when he stuck his head out of the water for a minute. And
it comes out so slow, and it's only just insanely too rectangular or too triangular. Like the head, it's so bad.
Came out at that same angle every time. You knew it was the same shot every time. And then the one guy gets blown up on the boat, and you can tell he is a dummy. He does not bend. He goes straight up like a stick.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. Horrible movie. I do not recommend that to anybody.
But you see that, Mark? We give him movies. He enjoys them.
Oh, yeah.
His payback is given the worst movie. Of course, the whole it's supposed to be a punishment. So I'm not. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a punishment.
I've only given movies I have watched myself. Okay, I have not given you movies.
Did you watch all of that
of The Last Shark?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
I love. I got this. I got the same sickness as Pete. Like, we love to torture ourselves with movies.
Yeah.
And watch some.
And Pete is sick. I'll tell you that right now. He is.
Oh man. So, all right. Well, let's get on to it, man. Let's see who wins this week. It's time for our next round of questions, and of course, our good buddy, who's now dubbed the evil overlord of the Give Me Back My Podcast Network, Charlie Chase over at Give Me Back My Action Movies and Give Me Back My Horror Movies, has sent us a new round of questions. Now, I have no idea.
Why do you say this every time we do
that? Every time, yep, I agree.
Okay.
He says
I don't know nothing.
I just want to let y'all know I have no idea what these questions are.
Fine. Okay, here we go. Number one, because I was thinking about it earlier. Because I'm like, there's not a lot about this movie. Like, I don't know what kind of questions to come up with because there's really not a lot. Because I tried to do the Reuben thing and study, and I was like, let me see what I can find out. And I'm like, there's really not much.
There's not much.
Not much. So
I think what Charlie's going to do is he's going to dig into subplots and maybe, like I imagine him asking me, like, in America, how many abusive mothers are there?
Oh, yeah.
Like that,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right. Do your thing,
right,
man.
Number one, what is the earliest example of a monster on film? A, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, B, Golem, or C, Nosferatu? I know which one of those came.
Run that by me one more time.
What is the earliest example of a monster on film? Was it A, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, B, Golem, or C, Nosferatu? I own all three of these movies. And they're all.
What does that have to do with the movie we just watched?
It's a monster.
Ooh.
I'm trying to remember.
Thanks, man.
I took a guess because I'm not sure which one. I know when I don't know when they came out exactly. So I just took it.
All right. Number two. You got your answer, Mark?
Yeah, I've got
it. Your guess. 2016's The Monster, the movie we just watched, shares several similarities with another famous film involving a mother and a child trapped inside a car while being stalked. Parentheses, don't get cocky, Reuben, Charlie says. When was the book Cujo by Stephen King published? A, 1979, B, 1981, or C, 1983?
I do
not. I don't know about the book.
I'm sorry. I know. I think I know the book. So It was 79 was A, 83 was B. What would
81
back
would be.
No, A is 1979, B 1981, or C 1983.
Okay. All right.
Here you go, Mark. The Last Shark was released under several different titles across the globe.
Really?
Which of the following countries' titles is false? A, The Great White in USA. B, Jaws Returns in Japan. Or C, The Last Jaws in Turkey.
I'm not confident. Oh, Charlie, you got me this time because I studied for this. Would you like to know what the writer of this film, I already forgot his name, his very first job was? He was a gaffer. That was his very first job.
Really?
Movies, yeah. He was a gaffer. He started as a gaffer in movies. So I got that out of there. I can't believe, all these movies he's directed and written started as a gaffer.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool.
But that wasn't one of the questions. Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. Good job, Charlie.
All right. Let's see what our answers are. Number one. I wish you would copy the questions. What is the earliest example of a monster on film? I think was the question. The answer is B, Golem.
All right. I got
that one.
at least.
I thought it was C.
Number two.
I thought you actually told me one.
Yeah.
Was what?
I think we talked about it.
No.
Time.
Nosferatu is the oldest of the three.
Okay.
The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari came out before Nosferatu as well. Number two. When was Cujo written? The book itself. The answer is B, 1981.
Oh, I missed it.
I'm 0 for 2.
I got 2 for 2.
Really?
Yep. Number three. What's the wrong name for The Last Shark in what country? The answer is C, The Last Jaws. Real title was Sun Jaws in Turkey. I got
so. What was the
got that wrong?
The American?
The Great White.
Yeah,
No, it was The Last Shark.
No, that's the actual original Italian title. It's The Last Shark.
It was an Italian Jaws movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I got two out of 3.
I got
2 out of 3 as
I
well.
got 0. And I watched the stupid
You
movie.
watched it too.
Oh, my gosh.
Man. Well, Ruben, I gave the last one. I guess it's up to you to decide what Mark gets to watch. You got 2. I got so we tied. All right, because I didn't know if you got 3, then I would watch.
Just some suggestions: Pink Floyd, The Wall, Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii. Does anything come up there?
I don't think that's on his list.
Oh, he's got his head down.
Well, I wrote it down because I thought for last week, but I didn't get to pick last week. You're gonna watch Twonky. TWOOKY.
Twonky.
What is Twonky?
Yeah, look it up. If you don't have it on your shared drive, you might. Let me know if you can't find it, and I'll give you a secondary choice.
TWONKEY. Is that what you said?
Twonky.
Yeah, TWONKY. I believe I can double check.
It's a 1953 movie.
There you go. You found it.
I have found it.
Twonky.
Oh,
you
see
the?
It's got hands.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So wrong.
A possessed TV. So this is about a possessed TV.
That's right.
Out of your own tomorrow, out of time and space, a fearsome power. The Twonky.
The Twonky.
The Twonky.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna volunteer to watch that with you, Mark, because I really want to see this movie now. All right, so Twonky it is.
I had to go searching because when I said prophecy, Sludge over here got happy and he started making. I think he put popcorn in the microwave.
Oh yeah, he's ready. He's ready to go.
I love that movie. So I told Pete some of the movies that are on my list, and he's like, "You're an evil man." I said,
we'll see how he calls you evil when.
Well, we'll find out.
You allow him to.
So again, thank you all so much. We have fun with those trivia things. I'm excited to watch Twonky. I'm really stoked for this now. And again, thank you, Charlie, for sending those questions in. But we have been talking about Mark's birthday coming up, and we have thrown the idea of Pete Quint picking the movie for Mark, since he picked Ship of Monsters, Mark's favorite movie, second favorite movie because he loves RoboCop more than that. Yes. And me and Pete's been talking back and forth for about 2 weeks now. over this, and he could not, I tried to help. We could not come to a final decision of a movie, but we boiled it down to 3 movies. So we're going to do something a little different this episode, and Pete decided this, and I thought it was a great idea. Mark is going to pick which of the 3 movies that he gets to watch for his birthday episode next month. Now, the way that this is going to work is we're going to watch the trailer. Well, actually, the trailer and, well, for one of them, just a clip because I could never find the trailer for it. These 3 films.
Bad.
It's that bad. So you're going to see a trailer. We're going to watch a trailer and a clip of these 3 films, and y'all are going to get to hear Mark's reaction to these.
Okay, so I'm choosing once we.
Well, yes. So we've got.
I don't have to draw those.
No,
right?
you have to draw. Yeah. So we've got like.
So I'm not choosing.
Like
I'm drawing.
You're drawing, but you're going to
not
pick.
choosing, you're drawing.
You're picking whatever it is, because it's you drawing. So, but so kind of like we got the piece of paper with each movie on here, and you're going to draw out of the hat, which is not really a hat, it's just the table. You'll pick one of the 3.
Okay, I got you.
But so we're going to watch these trailers, except for one, which is just a clip. And, of course, you audiences will be able to hear these. I will make sure and put a video up with these so that you can see what we're seeing at some point. But you get to hear Mark's reaction and excitement over what he's going to watch.
Lordy.
So, first up is going to be a trailer for a movie called House. This is a 1977 haunted house movie from Japan.
Oh, wait.
You say that
now. Yes, I think it is. I just think
that sounds great to me.
It's not House that you're thinking of with the war vet. That
no. It's the Japanese version. I've seen this. I'm telling you. Go ahead. Put it on.
Okay, here we go.
Put it on.
Here we go.
Let's see.
All right.
Oh,
there you go.
House.
私あなたを救えなかった
Oh.
Yes, those were fingers on that piano.
I
see in your eyes where tomorrow ends hiding in
wow.
There's a bell ringing loud at the touch of your lips down the rainbow.
What is he eating?
That's like a massive rice cake, dude. It's huge.
This has a very cinematic kind of vibe to it.
眩しくて怖いのよ日の光が
What?
Oh. Yeah, thanks, Pete. Thanks, Pete.
Oh, my goodness.
かからないわ故障よ
Oh, yeah. I have seen part of this movie. I'm telling you.
Have you seen part of it?
I have seen part of it.
All right, that was House, and yes, that piano ate that woman.
Yes, I do remember that.
Look, that's a special edition right there.
So, I actually hadn't watched it in a long time, and so I went back and watched it today because we were talking about this. Like, what do you think you would like House? I'm like, I haven't watched House in forever. Let me watch it again. And I watched it. I'm like, oh my god, this movie is just bat crap crazy. Like, what is going on?
It is.
All right. Next up, help if I talk in the microphone. I could not find a trailer for this one, but we found a clip. And we thought this one would be very special for you because we know what your favorite movie is. So here comes Lady Battle Cop.
Ooh.
Lady Battle Cop.
Last chance
No.
Okay
She's even dressed like him. What the heck?
That's a grenade.
Oh my god.
Oh, please not. Please not.
All right, so we know that looks like your favorite film right there.
Okay, well, that's
so.
next.
But option 3 is a great gem of a low budget film, and I mean probably Last Shark might have had a bigger budget than this. It is called Notzilla.
Oh, I like that one.
Today is the day. Unlimited power.
Commencing countdown in 5, 4.
Not close enough.
Another meltdown.
There's the TV.
Biggest
There's
one
Twonky.
yet.
He made an appearance.
Twonky's in this.
Is it reptilian?
Could be Democrat.
It's alive, but it's definitely a living dinosaur.
Yes, sir. It is my Godzilla. Some kind of hemorrhoid.
There you go.
If exposed to alcohol, it suddenly grew very big.
There you go. There you go.
Just as I suspected, the monster has grown lots bigger.
I see him.
Hey, there you go. There he comes.
I need to speak to whoever's in charge. That would be me. We're gonna need some ginormous firepower. And
See, this is actually Minya when he grows up. That's all it is. Minya, that's all it is.
Raging alcoholic.
It's raging alcoholic.
And the monster always comes and picks him up.
Oh, no, wait,
Lord.
Marty, look, that's a doll.
Right, it is.
Oh, yeah.
General Bogus, Godzilla's coming.
There it is.
How's it look, Kenny?
Kafka-esque.
He's bouncing
Man,
them
this
around
guy,
as if they were
that
nothing
guy even
but
looked like Mel Brooks.
Fear makes things
Turning
grow.
around. We're safe. Please.
Oh.
Not so much the fire. That's where it comes from.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, Mark, you got quite a selection here today.
Oh, well, I do, but just remember this. You guys got to watch it with me.
All right. So, Mark, your choices is 1977's House, your second favorite movie, Lady Battle Cop, or Notzilla.
Go ahead and pick.
Draw. Let's see what
I
you
think it
get.
needs to be this right here. And
Lady Cop, Lady Cop, Lady Cop.
Yeah, I know, right? Lady Battle Cop, Lady Battle
I'm
Cop.
sorry, it is not Zillow.
There we go. So I've seen all three of those films, including Lady Battle Cop, and Lady Battle Cop is.
I haven't seen Lady Battle Cop, but I've seen Godzilla.
I will watch RoboCop 3 on repeat before choosing to watch Lady Battle Cop again. So, all right. So next month for Mark's birthday episode, we will be doing Notzilla, which will be a ton of fun. I already have that. I bought that.
Okay, so I have to watch, or are you going to watch with me?
We're going to.
The Twonky.
We're all going to watch it.
Yes.
No, Twonky's.
And Notzilla.
Twonky and Notzilla in one episode.
Guys,
that's going to be so rough. So now
I'm going to go over to Pete's basement. Isn't that where they do the beer while they're watching?
Maybe,
I'm going to Pete's.
He's on his way. So, Mark, your birthday is actually May 27th, which is a Friday.
Yeah.
And, of course, now that weekend following it will be at the Stompdown Frank Show.
Yeah.
So we'll be releasing your birthday episode on the 21st. Just so you guys know. So we'll be doing that. It'll be the second episode of the month. It'll be Mark's special birthday episode where we get to tell you how we'll actually have to talk about Twonky in the next episode. But we'll get to watch Notzilla and see how much Mark enjoyed that for his birthday, thanks to the one and only Pete Quint from Good Beer Bad Movie Night.
Thanks.
And of course now the next episode that you'll actually see or hear from us before, we are doing another Toho classic, one of my personal favorites actually. That is Varan. Very good film that came out from them. You actually get to see him in two scenes, right? Destroy All Monsters briefly. That's what two scenes. So for those who ever wondered who that strange horned dinosaur looking thing in Destroy All Monsters is, we're going to tell you where he really came from.
Excellent.
So, and there is two versions of the film. Now I will say when we go to do this movie, we will briefly discuss the American version. I will not require either one of you to watch the atrocity that is the American version of this film.
Okay.
So we'll do the Japanese version, and I'll comment on the American one if you guys don't want to watch it because it's rough, real rough. So, but first episode next month will be Varan, and then second episode next month, I'll get it out, will be Notzilla for Mark's birthday. Yes. And so we're super stoked for that. And of course, be paying attention. April 30th of this month, we have got the Stompy and Frank show Better say that right, because if not, it'll piss Stompy off real fast.
You almost made a major mistake.
Oh, yeah,
man.
big time. So, and then also, I want to tell you guys, and I know Ruben's got something he wants to tell you too, but I want to get a quick thing out. Free Comic Book Day is coming up May 7th. Right. And for those who are in the Bristol Tri-Cities area, where we are actually, well, two of us are located, me and Sledge and Mark, we will both be at Free Comic Book Day at the Mount Empire Comics store in Johnson City. We will be there, as well as Charlie from Give Me Back My Action Movies.
Excellent.
We will have plenty of giveaways for you guys. We will have, of course, different flyers for the show, but we'll have stickers, buttons, cards, the whole 9 yards, and free comic books for you guys. So if you were in the area, Johnson City, Mountain Empire Comic Books, May 7th, Free Comic Book Day, come check us out. We want to hang with you and talk to you guys. And then, Ruben, it's all you, man.
Hey, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this last Monster Mash. It was Dawn of the Dead, the theme from Dawn of the Dead by Goblin. So the write-up was, I really like Goblin. They're nice. I mean, I just dig Goblin. So I hope you enjoyed it. And this coming Wednesday, I'll give you a hint on what I'm going to do. It's a lot of people's favorite. And I'm going to try to make the hint a little harder. There's a connection to. Look at that.
He's Mark's snapping Cheetos. It wasn't just me. Sorry, go ahead, Ruben.
The hint I'll give you is there's a connection, though very 7 Degrees to Kevin Bacon type deal, from Slaughter, the hair metal band Slaughter. That's all I'm going to say about it. Let's see. I'm gonna have to. You can figure it out.
I can't figure it out. I got my mouth full of Cheetos right now. I can't even guess again.
I was gonna give a real easy hint. I'm like, I'll make it a little tough. Maybe they'll dig around and maybe they can comment on what they think it's going to be. But I will say that I believe you guys are going to like the next selection after this.
Man, I got to tell you, Ruben's been doing a fantastic job with that. I'm loving the Monster Mash Wednesdays. My wife's even loving the Monster Mash Wednesdays.
So cool.
You guys definitely, I mean, if you have not gone over and joined our Facebook group or followed us on Instagram, please do so, because we do provide you extra content 3 times a week, and it's totally different from the show itself. So Mondays, you got the Underdogs, and me and Ruben actually talk a lot, because, see, Mark was supposed to help with the Underdogs, but Mark doesn't help with the Underdogs. So me and Ruben do the Underdogs, and we're always messaging each other going, okay, which one do you want this week? Which one? Because especially the 90s, we're in the 90s right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good movies, and we were trying to figure out which one of which, because there's a lot of good stuff to choose from.
I monitor what you guys talk about.
He supervises to make sure we got it. So, so Mondays, you've got the Underdogs, which are movies that you probably may or may not have heard of, that went underneath the radar, that we want to make sure that you are aware that they are out there and exist, because they're great movies. Wednesdays is the Monster Mash Wednesdays that Ruben brings to you, and it's just monster music, whether it's from a movie itself or a band that relates to monsters in some way. It is awesome. He goes into super great detail on how this stuff is broke down and made. And then Friday, of course, we got our Friday night fights, where we pit 2 amazing monsters against each other, and you're guaranteed that when you check out the Friday night fights, that you're going to find one Charlie, the evil overlord of the Give Me Back My Action, or Give Me Back My Podcast network, being what's a kind word I can say here, and I'll put a beep right there for him and there. That's Charlie, because he can never answer right. He always leaves it open. Like, we did the Bubba Hotep versus Emotep, and his vote was the Mummy. Or the one that's rat.
The one with the dry skin.
Yeah, that's what it was.
The dry skin.
Yeah. He can never pick one. He ends up finding a way. When it was the David werewolf versus the werewolf from Dog Soldiers, he said, the furry one. Or it's like it's the way
he does good right there. He does good.
So
I was looking. You put that picture of Gamera up.
Day,
and
that was
and it made me think. What about Gamera versus Teenage Mutant Turtles?
Well, that would be unfair.
It would be. Gamera would kill him, but I mean,
that still would be good. I would like to see what they say. So. Because
I don't know. They might have a shot.
Look at there.
They might have a shot.
Oh, whatever. So, but all right.
I mean, you got 5 turtles that are ninjas
that are the size of like one of his toenails. You know what I mean? Like they don't stand a chance. So, all right, guys. Well, so definitely please go follow us on Instagram or go join the group page on Facebook, the Monster Movie Stompdown. You can find us both places. And go, please, subscribe to and hit the notification bell for on our YouTube channel because the Stompy and Frank show will premiere at the end of this month, and that's the only place you're going to be able to see it. So you want to make sure and go and watch it because it is going to be a great show. The guys got me some of their notes and stuff for the show the other day, and I think it's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait to see that one pan out.
Tommy says he did most of the work in the studio.
He's lying.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said.
He had to get. No.
He said you.
Why would he lie?
Yeah.
Why would he make?
Why would he
stuff
lie?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look.
He
at
said something about you just sitting around eating Cheetos.
No, that did not happen. Okay,
Yeah.
Stompy is all of about 2'6". Okay, and these ceilings are like 7 foot or 6, 7 foot ceilings.
Oh,
We had to get a ladder for him. Like,
Yeah.
come on. So, but I will say the one thing we do agree on this is we listen to a crap ton of like. Let's see, we listened to Living Sacrifice, X-Toll that day, some Fit for a King. He's a metalhead. So
yeah.
if anything, we'll just put on metal music and I ain't got to listen to him.
Does that run Frank off since he's.
No, Frank runs around with his headphones on. Frank wears his headphones pretty much like all the time. And he's got this, I don't understand why, because I even told him, I said, dude, we've got a couple of MP3 players upstairs. I'll get you one. But he loves, for some reason, recording his stuff to like cassette tapes. So he's got this little yellow and gray like Sony Walkman. And he's got his David Hasselhoff on there, and so he's constantly rocking David Hasselhoff like all the time. Like that is
probably because David Hasselhoff isn't available on any digital format.
That'd be true. I don't know if True Survivor is. You can get True Survivor on there. So
okay, true.
But all right, guys, again, yeah, so make sure and check us out on social. And please, please, please go check out all the other shows on the Give Me Back My Podcast network. Love everybody that we're a part of when it comes to these shows. They're all great dudes, put out great shows. Actually, just listen to Good Beer Bad Movie Night's Mean Girls episode because I hate that movie. My wife loves that movie. And I was like, I got to watch this, and Pete was like one beer to get through it. I'm like, really? Like, this is such a bad movie. But it was a great episode. It was really, really good. Those dudes put on great stuff. It's very funny. And then, of course, the guys from Give Me Back My Action Movies, Give Me Back My Horror Movies, Charlie and Nate do a phenomenal job. Their new show, Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, is doing phenomenal with Jimmy and Dan. They're doing a great job with it. And again, they're the new guys, but they've put several episodes out. But Just Jeff and Flynn Hendricks with their shows, I Know You Hear Me and Tales from the Haunt. Check those out. All super great shows. I mean, we appreciate you all so much for listening. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the episode. This is Sludge.
And Mark.
You got Ruben in Texas.
Y'all have a good night.
Night, y'all.
Good night.
Come on, you hey! You want to live forever?
Now what?
But no matter what happens, Godzilla will win.
Hello, peasants. Stompy here, reminding you to join the Monster Movie Stompdown Facebook group and follow us on Instagram so you can get all the extra content from the Monster Movie Stompdown. 3 times a week, we bring extra content with The Underdogs on Monday, where we discuss great monster movies you might have missed. Monster Mash Wednesday, where we discuss the music of the monster movies or monster-related music, either way. And of course, Friday Night Fights, where we put 2 titular monsters, is that even the right word? I don't know if I can say that word. Okay. In the ring, and you decide who wins. So don't be a loser. Go join us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram.
What is that?
You know that's what he's gonna pull. I hope Sludge thought ahead and just put that movie in 3 times.
That I am the very avatar of masculinity.
Get rid of
That I am the
won't go away.
finest wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
All right, there you go. What the heck? Give me back
Keep
my
trying to
pro
hit the
wrestling
X.
right here.
What's going on?
Oh, jeez.
There we go.
Oh, come on. That was going to be the best part.
That's going into bloopers
Lordy.
section for sure.